Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Liam's Lively Jukebox with your host with the mostest, yours truly, Liam. Now, welcome to episode 10. We're episode 10 of 12. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the one and only RuPaul's Drag Race, or Drag Race Worldwide, and talking about the top 10 remixes. Now, what is a remix? A remix, or in certain countries, a Supreme mix, Priscilla mix, Brooke mix, depending on which country you're in, is usually the finale challenge where the top three, top four, or in some cases the top five have gone head to head in a performance battle where they write their own verse to a remix of a famous song, whether it be by RuPaul, Brooklyn Heights, Supreme Deluxe, and so on and so forth. There's quite many, there are many of them. Now, I am going to be talking about today my top 10. So my top 10 remixes from the entire franchise. It is really difficult to choose which one is the best. So the best way I had to do it was listen to each individual track one by one. And there are a couple of honourable mentions, which I will mention a little bit later, that really did stand out, but just did not make the cut in the top 10. So I scored each verse out of 10, divide the amount of queens that sang on that song, and give an overall score out of 10. So that's how it was done. So it's literally, it comes down to luck, I suppose, which potluck as to which track ranks where. I do apologise if you hear anything outside. It is just a couple of noisy kids outside, it's the middle of the day. So we'll begin our countdown with number 10, and we're going to go to season 12 of the US version, which is the Las Vegas remix. Now, the overall score I gave for this was 9.25 out of 10, so 9.25 points out of 10. Now, this was a remix with a difference. It actually tied in with the Las Vegas review that's in Las Vegas, in the Flamingo Lounge in Las Vegas, where RuPaul Live. So there's a lot of in this one, it was actually the top 5 queens of that season. It was a remix challenge where Jackie Cox, Gigi Good, Crystal Method, Gina Essence Hall, and a disgraced Sherry Pie were all fighting for a place in the finale for the top 4. I felt it was a remix with a difference. It tied in 3 songs: I Made It, the Mirror song, and Losing is the New Winning. So which were all phenomenal. Now, in Losing is the New Winning, all the queens had to add a new verse of their own to tie in with the track. Now, it was fun, energetic, had a lot of light and shade, and the 4 queens, which would have been Jackie Cox, Gigi Good, Crystal Method, and J.S. Hall, all did a solid job. It was a solid performance. I actually really enjoyed Gigi Good's verse, where she just came in, it's like, Miss Good is coming through, basically, she's the best. They all gave their own spin on it, and it was very hard to tell who would have been the winner in that challenge. It would have came down probably to the runway as to who won that. So that is number 10. Now, in number 9, I have my pen, so just check off that I've actually talked about it. At number 9 is from All Stars 3, Hey Kitty Girl, which got, for me, an average score of 9.38 out of 10. This was a great mega mix with an ambitious routine. Now, I have to highlight an honourable mention here, which was Reju Rochu, which unfortunately did not, just missed making the top 10. Let's just say there was one verse in particular was not very good, where the other 3, had it been just the top 3, then it would have been much higher. It was going to be a hard act to follow, because given the iconic verses, the routine, it was solid, the performance was very much on point. This was a great mega mix with an ambitious routine. We're literally walking from the outer sets of Drag Race into the main stage itself. I really loved Shangela's verse here, and it really shown how much she has grown since season 2, where she was actually the pork chop of that season, to going from back in season 3 to really come back as a contender. And then in All Stars 3, for me, I think personally, I think she was robbed of the top 2, but I really think her verse really stood out for me. It's great from all 4 of them were really, really good. And BB's verse, I love that. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest? Giving face, face. You know, like literally still on brand. A lot of the queens in this one stood on brand in this one as well. Even Trixie's was really good too. Not my favourite, but it was really, really good. And I've seen Trixie live. She's much better outside of Drag Race as well. So that is my number 9. At number 8, this would be considered for me my wild card of the 10 tracks that have been chosen, and it's called Porteno, which was taken from Drag Race Italia season 2. Now, Porteno, na 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 na, which got an average score of 9.38 as well, but there was more consistency in the score, so that's how it separated them two from Italia season 2. This would be for me the wild card of the remixes. I only found this out by chance because I've only been catching up on any outstanding Drag Race episodes because I'm currently watching Mexico. I'm currently watching All Stars 8. There's a lot coming up, and then Philippines as well is coming up as well, which is fantastic. All 4 were consistent, brilliant. The vocal blending, the harmonies were fantastic, and the official video for this is actually very, very funny. And they like the color coordination. They all had their own individual colors, very individual from all 4 of them. Superb, and it deserves a place in the top 10. And it's actually brilliant when you have a top 4. They all can sing, and they all can dance to the best of their ability. So that was fantastic. Now, number 7, we're moving to the UK now for UK season 2 and their version of A Little Bit of Love Goes a Long, Long Way. Now, A Little Bit of Love is usually the runway track that is used for Drag Race UK. It's usually used on the runway segment of the show. Now, this was fantastic. A really, really good, solid top 4 here as well. When you had Ellie Diamond, Taste, Bimini, and Lawrence Jenny as well, with the eventual winner. A really great fab remix. I was waiting for this to be used because it was quite a popular song. It was used in like the credits and different things like that. Same as To the Moon as well. It was eventually used on the remix for season 1 of UK Drag Race. All 4 really delivered on this. I have to highlight that all 4 delivered on their verses, really made it a really valid point to do well here. But for me, the one that really stood out was Taste. Had this been a challenge, Taste would have won this challenge because of the energy she delivered, the choreography. She probably among the 4 of them, probably the toughest choreography. Her verse was so fast. It's like, bring it to the runway, lights, camera, action. It's me, baby. It's the lip sync assassin. Like, she survived 4 lip syncs, which is no mean feat. She is, for me, probably the lip sync assassin of Drag Race UK. I would be worried for any queen who comes up against her on a lip sync as well. But a really great track. It was probably one of my personal favourites, and that's why it's made it to the top 10. It got an average score of 9.4 out of 10, so and it done really, really well. So it was an absolutely amazing track as well. Then, still sticking with the UK for number 6, but this time it's last year's season, UK season 4, which was the UK Mega Mix. Now, which got an average score of 9.5 out of 10, so really, really solid here as well. I think it was very clever, mixing 4 iconic tracks: Call Me Mother, Sissy That Walk, The Realness, and Hey Kitty Girl. Each queen was allocated a verse as well, which I think were well matched to their personalities. So like Black Pepper had Sissy That Walk, Cheddar Gorgeous had The Realness, Call Me Mother, Danny Beard, and Hey Kitty Girl, Jumbers Blonde. Really clever take on all of them. All four, may I add, came out incredibly strong, incredibly fiery. They brought it to the table on this one. I felt that Danny Beard's verse, when she did Call Me Mother, I felt this could, if this did not seal her win, it definitely sealed her top 2 placement, because Danny Beard is one of the most deserving winners I think I've ever seen. It was going to be between her and Cheddar, I think, from the last few episodes to whoever comes out. Black Pepper showed her determination despite the fact she was also a lip sync assassin like Taste. She's another one. Now that would be an iconic lip sync to watch. Taste and Black Pepper going head to head. Determined, J Jumpers Blonde showed growth and showed improvement as well. And probably choreography wise, one of the strongest in that one. Cheddar Gorgeous showed the consistency, how good she is. I felt maybe in some parts maybe a slight lack in confidence, but she really did bring it to the table, and it was quite fun to watch. She's like this like alluring like alien type, which very much on brand for Cheddar as well. But Cheddar is probably who I would call one of the narrators of the season, who was really informative, intellectual. I would say the British version of Sacha Velour, basically. That sort of idea I got from our Cheddar Gorgeous as well. But a great mega mix and a great fun track. Now, before I reveal my top 5, just remember, if you want to see more content, see more fun stuff, remember to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more content to come. All right, now, then we get to number 5. So number 5 brings us to Canada, and we are going to go with Queen of the North from Canada's Drag Race Season 2. Now, this also got an average of 9.5 out of 10. I actually had to listen to both tracks to decide which goes number 5, which goes number 6. This had a better edge, and I'll tell you why. When I first saw this in the Season 2 finale, I was blown away by the performance. All 3 queens of Isis, Couture, Pythia, and Kendall Jenner really brought it to the table here. They came out strong, they came out hard. It's like literally, think of a cannonball blowing through a door. They literally brought a snowstorm with them with this song. All 3 brought their own interpretation to it. It was fantastic. If this was a challenge, I felt Kendall Jenner would have got the win on this one, because I'm a West Coast diva, skinny latte, give you fever. Working in a bodysuit, it's like the rhythm just kept going and going and going. That's something that really will catch fans as well. It was a great finish to a great season, and very well deserved in being in my top 5. So fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Just missing out on the top 3 is at number 4 is Legends, from which scored 9.57 out of 10 from All Stars 7. Probably for me one of the best seasons ever, because I think it was because it was all winners going head to head, and it was like fun to watch, and it was really an all winners track. This was an all winners track. Why We Are Legends, and just in case you don't know, I have my own legendary legend star as well. Well, actually I have 2. One's going to a very good friend of mine for their birthday, so that will be, which is coming up very, very shortly as well. Anyway, all winners track, they all explain their journey from their winning season to now, and it sort of really made a clear viewpoint as to where they are, and it really opened the season really well, because normally the remix at the end, this was at the start, because normally the talent show and all that there is at the beginning, but it was like nearly the reverse of that, which was fantastic. All of them stood out, but particular standouts, I loved Monet Exchange's verse, Jinx Monsoon's verse, Shea Coulee, and of course the Vivienne, our UK 1 champion as well. It was nice to have a season with no bottoms. It was either you were top, safe, or if you got the Platinum Plunger, blocked. That sort of thing. But you could still win a prize, you could still win 10 grand. I actually like the fact they brought back the top 2 format, which was the Lip Sync for Your Legacy as All Stars. Personally, I think All Stars need to start changing the rules a wee bit. I think to do Lip Sync for Your Legacy for half, then Lip Sync for Your Life for the second half. I have an idea in mind for what they should do. But it was a great track, and show why they are legendary and why they are. It's making an impression to the fandom, like, this is who we are, this is why we are successful, this is why we are brilliant, essentially. So it was absolutely fantastic, and it was a great watch as well. Now, on to my top 3. Okay, so in my top 3, in my bronze medal, getting 9.63 out of 10, is the recent remix or Supreme mix from Drag Race España Season 3 is Fiebre. which in English is fever. And in the words of Vanya Vanina, I was like, wow, wow, wow. It's like, I loved it. The pacing was brilliant. The verses were really well written here. I even wrote my own verse, which I will put up on Instagram later. I think it was fantastic to watch. I loved the video for this. It was so cleverly done. And all their looks for this symbolize who they were. That sort of thing. This packed what I call a super punch. It showed the top four as how good they are, and it made me realize then this top four is a well-deserved top four after what I would call a topsy-turvy season. Now, what I mean by that is there's quite a few occasions where I'm like thinking, raised eyebrow, questioning the judging. Great climax. My favourite verse was Hornella Gongora's verse, because it was like sensual, I love that like sort of rocky sort of style, but it went well with the music. And then it's like, yes, I'm the key to this. And she was robbed of at least one challenge win, at least. But I'm not going to split hairs. But it was a fantastic song, and it really deserves a place in my top three. Now, my silver medal goes to Drag Race España again with season 2 with Llave a Cielo, or Take Me to Heaven. And I love the original version, which overall score got 9.8 out of 10. This was a really, for me, this would have been one of the strongest seasons I have ever seen. That when you have a cast of 12 queens they're delivering, they're bringing it to the table, they're telling their own stories. It's really, really good TV and really, really good to watch. Probably one of the strongest seasons I've ever witnessed. The top four I have championed time and time and time and time and time again, and they are fabulous. And I felt they were definitely a drag girl group. Hashtag stunning. It was a really, really stunning verse. For me, the winner, Sharon's verse, really stood out. And Sharon, I think to date, is not saying she's an old lady, but she's the oldest winner. And I can see why. Experience really does reflect on her vocals and really reflects on her performance. I love Estrella Extravaganza as well. Her verse was brilliant because it talked about image and talked about how she makes image positive as well, which was fantastic. Loved it. And often a very good friend of mine, the one who I'm giving the badges to, actually said, why do I have a soft spot for Estrella Extravaganza? I think she's one of the very few queens who I think I can relate to really well. And she's funny, and from the moment you see a queen, the moment they walk in, you think there's a star in the making, and she is hilarious, and makes good use of learning Spanish as well, as I have been for the last 10 years. Now, there have been many different tracks that have been fantastic across the board. It is really hard to choose which one, and I want to actually give a shout out to all the Drag Race franchises for delivering on such good songs as well. Like Fierce from Belgium, American from US season 10, even Hey Sis It's Christmas from US 3, To the Moon season 1 UK. There's a lot, and I'm a Winner Baby from Down Under season 1. I like all of them. It just comes down to nitty gritty details as to which one gets the top position. Now, my winning track for number 1 is from Drag Race Svalia season 1. It only launched this year, and it is Every Queen, which involved the top 3 of Drag Race Sweden season 1. This is probably one of the most underrated seasons ever. They delivered one of the best Rumixes ever, or Fox mixes. Robert Fox is the RuPaul of Sweden. All 3 brought it hard. They brought a fantastic, it was phenomenal to watch. I enjoyed every minute of it. Performances and lyricism to this was perfection, given what Sweden was all about and what they were all about as well. So that is my winning track, which is Every Queen. I can't commend it enough. So on that note, as I say, support Drag Race everywhere. Support all the drag queens you know. locally and internationally. As of now, as of after this episode, I will be taking a 2 week break as I'm going to be working on tour, and I shall see you all in the beginning of August for the next episode, and details are yet to follow. So I shall see you all soon, and I'm going to speak to you all soon. Hope you have a good, enjoy the next couple of weeks. If you're on holiday, have a good holiday. If you're doing something fun, have fun. Okay, send you lots of love. Take care. Bye.